The European Union lose control of the illegal migrants, European countries start to attack each other because of the EU, and Keir Starmer becomes the new leader of the Labour Party. Hello everyone and welcome to today's show. Today is all about Europe and the European Union. What a mess they've created recently. Over the past few decades, but it's getting worse and worse. One issue is obviously they have this crisis to look after. The European Union do nothing. The second problem is ongoing. It's been going on for years and years, and that's the migration and especially illegal migrants in Europe. So the EU Commission have completely lost control over this situation. The European countries, especially Italy, are now kicking off. So the only thing that the EU could do is to punish their own members. You know, so far they've been pretending to be a family. Everyone's so united, but then they keep creating these fees and penalties for the different member states if they do not obey. So today we're going to talk about that and also Italy's reaction. Matteo Salvini is not really happy, and Keir Starmer is the new Labour leader. Boring. We're not going to talk about too much about that, but we'll have to. But before we start, tonight's quarantine stream, our live stream at 7 p.m, we have a special guest. We have Guido Fawkes' Tom Harwood. We're going to talk about a number of issues, including the ongoing global crisis. So make sure you tune in at 7 p.m. Now, let's start, because the EU are basically showing their true face, which is incompetent, harsh, and not really loyal to their own members. So our beloved EU courts, part of the European Court of Justice, have now ruled against 3 of the countries, that includes Poland, Hungary and Czech Republic, for not taking enough refugees. So we are going to talk about this because this is a big problem going on in Europe, and I'm kind of baffled why the BBC, this is an article from the BBC, why they keep using the word refugees when there's a collection of obviously different groups of people currently stranded in Europe. The EU's top court has ruled out that Poland, Hungary and Czech Republic have broken the EU law by refusing to take in refugees under an agreement to ease the burden faced by Italy and Greece. EU leaders have agreed to relocate 160,000 refugees EU-wide in 2015. This was after a lot of the people who went to Italy and Greece and stopped there. And this is not even including people who were stuck in Turkey, and Turkey decided to change their mind. Yeah, so this is actually including that, because as you heard recently, Turkey decided to just let everybody go back to Europe and, go further into Europe. And the European countries, again, specifically Greece, Italy and others, weren't really happy, because this was an agreement between the European Union and Turkey to keep everyone there for now in their camps. Now, the problem I have, again, with the BBC is the wording. They call every single person a refugee. Now, this is not true. Not everybody is a refugee. Yes, there are some refugees. There are some people who have fled home because they can't actually go back. That's true. But there's also the vast majority of certain groups in certain camps that are simply economic migrants. So stop calling them refugees. They're migrants. And a big chunk of them also were illegal migrants. So there's absolutely no international right for certain groups of people if they just want to randomly come to a country. People have to follow the rule. So this is the whole issue that we have. Now, going back to this article, the European Court of Justice have said that these 3 Central European countries have failed to fulfill their obligations. So I get that. You know, if they agree to something, they should have done it. My point is they shouldn't have actually agreed to it in the first place. Czech Republic, for example, have only accepted 12 of the 2,000 refugees that had been designated, while Hungary and Poland received none. So Hungary and Poland are quite robust when it comes to their borders, and this again shows the incompetence of the European Union. Yeah, because the EU are so proud that their project really works. And whether it's from the trade situation or borders or everything else or their human rights, they can't even control their own member states. Different nation states, including, again, Poland and Hungary, who are refusing to play their game. I don't understand why they agreed to it in the first place. I mean, they were forced, obviously, by the European Commission, but at the same time, now that they're not doing it, the EU can't do anything about it apart from, fining them and say, you have to pay some money, which again goes against the EU mentality. The EU mentality is that a lot of the Eastern and Central countries that joined, they're not net contributors. So please join as a member, pay something, you get more in return. But now they're actually getting more money from these countries. It's not fair. But even in the UK, Luckily, we're an island. Luckily, there's a bit of water between us and the rest of Europe. While the government are busy taking care of the global kind of health crisis that was going on, there are issues when it comes to the UK border as well. So a couple of days ago, more than 40 migrants were picked up by the border force because they were trying to enter the UK illegally by boats. And so luckily, at least the border force are still doing their job during this crisis. And again, thank God that we have left as a member, and by December, and unless there's some sort of weird extension going on, we won't be obliged to actually play by their rules. So we are going to be talking about the possibility of an extension on this channel, because as you know, December 2020 is the deadline where the UK and the EU have to come up with some sort of trade agreement. And if not, but technically it's June, by June they have to know if they want to extend it or not. So we'll find out in the next couple of months what the situation is. I won't be really happy about any extension, because both sides should be able to continue to negotiate again via Skype or Zoom, any video conferencing tool, while this situation is still going on. Now, going to the global health crisis, the Italians are kicking off. So Matteo Salvini, the right-wing leader, is now blaming the European Union for not supporting countries like Italy, Spain or Portugal during this situation. He tweeted this, saying, "Once the virus is defeated, the rediscussion of this Europe and of Italy's role will be a must, at least in terms of public debate. Nothing came to the rescue of Italy from the EU, and indeed, blackmail, trade wars, blocking masks, agricultural products, truck drivers." So yeah, Italy aren't too happy about the lack of support that they've received from the European Union and Brussels. This is the same Brussels that, they're more concerned about the situation between each country if they're not doing their own jobs. So as member states, each one of them, according to the EU, have responsibilities, and if you as a member state do not follow the rules, you'll be punished. But the European Union itself, they don't care about the rules. Now again, this is recently when the EU decided to bribe illegal migrants to give them money to go back to their own countries. Yeah, I don't think that's how it works, and it didn't work. Yeah, the EU said that they will pay about 2,000 euros to each migrant in the overcrowded camps in Greece to go back to their home countries. The EU Home Affairs Commissioner said that this person, Johansson, is basically one of these useless commissioners in charge of Home Office on a European level, announced that this scheme will be temporary, but we're going to give free money to illegal migrants to go back. Yeah, I don't think that's how it works. Well, it was an idiotic idea, because if you, as someone who wants to come to Europe, if you're either desperate or just keen, either way, if someone offers you 2,000 euros to go back to your own country, no one's gonna take yes. Like that's not. No one's coming to Europe for to get 1,000 euros, 2,000 euros free cash, and then that's it. They want to come to Europe for different reasons, and so this is stupid, and it didn't work, and they're still staying in their camps. This is how the EU want to help their countries. Well, but yeah, this is an ongoing issue, and on this channel we'll be covering it on a daily basis, hopefully, or at least on a weekly basis when we hear from Europe what's happening. But the Labour Party today announced that they have finally elected a new leader. On the plus side, Jeremy Corbyn's gone. On a less kind of positive side, it's Keir Starmer.
It is the honour and the privilege of my life to be elected as leader of the Labour Party.
And I have to speak like this forever because I'm a robot and I have no soul. What is this? Let's watch the rest.
Our cities, our towns and our villages are silent. Our roads deserted. Public life has all but come to a standstill, and we're missing each other. People are frightened by the strangeness.
Oh, okay, this is interesting. So, on the plus side, it's not Rebecca Long-Bailey, but doesn't mean he's better. Firstly, the Labour Party were obsessed with making sure that the next leader is female. You know, they're obsessed with identity politics. Well, that failed. Now every single other political party in the country have had a female leader, apart from the Labour Party, the party that champions, feminism and everything like that. The second problem is that this guy is not your typical Blairite or centrist in that sense. He still wants to nationalise industries. He wants to borrow extra money, even worse than the Tory government and Rishi Sunak. He wants to raise taxes. He's not your typical centrist or moderate person. Third problem, he's boring. Fourth problem, again, identity politics. Yeah, Labour were trying to find someone who's in touch with ordinary people and society, and they decided to pick Keir Starmer, who is privately educated, a knight of the realm, multimillionaire, a Remainer from North London. Yeah, very much in touch with the rest of the country. So yeah, let's see how Keir Starmer is going to keep us entertained in the next few years. What the Labour Party did today is to ensure that the Tory party could keep winning the next election and probably even the election after that. So yeah, not great. So this is the whole problem we have. Tonight we're going to have Tom Harwood from the website Guido Fawkes as a guest on our Quarant stream. So that will be at 7 p.m. live. So make sure you join us. We have our live stream every night at 7 p.m. UK time, and obviously our daily videos at 5:45 p.m. If you want to support the channel, at this point, we need your support more than ever because of the situation that's going on, and YouTube, whether censoring or taking, obviously, the advertising and everything away. If you want this channel to continue and survive, then we will definitely need your support. And by supporting this channel and becoming a member, you will get benefits and perks in return. So make sure to check out the link in the description, or just see the join button next to subscribe, or go on your browser and type in youtube.com/mytc/join. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's already joined as a member. None of this would be happening without your help. Otherwise, apart from this, make sure that tune in at 7 p.m. I'm mytc. I'll see you guys later in the next video.